Sorry.
Don't break my 100-year-old teacup.
Every girl is a doll, either Barbie or Annabelle. Origin unknown. Welcome to Remnants. My name is Emily.
And my name is Kayla.
I couldn't remember if we said anything else after that. I said welcome, and it just went beep.
And I was like,
She was just
did
staring
you
at me
forget
like,
your name?
she's like, go on. God. This is our last episode before Kayla leaves me.
Yes, we're having a tea party going away party.
Yes, and we have soda in our teacups.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you hear the fizz?
Ooh.
So we're classy bitches.
We are classy.
She came over in a full dress with a cute little hat.
I know, you said we were having a tea party.
I did.
I dressed for the occasion.
You did.
You did not match my energy.
No.
But you're cute. Just
Thanks.
not tea party attire.
You're cute.
No, it is. It's a cute outfit. That came out bad. I meant it is
Fine.
a cute outfit.
Fine. Whatever. I matched my teacup.
That is true. That is true. The spirit spoke to me as I was picking from my antique teacup collection.
Of course you have one of those.
I sure do.
So while this episode is probably not going to be the most serious, we do have a lot of ground to cover, so
Oh, let's cover that ground.
we're going to cover it. It's going to be a short, small talk kind of day, kind of podcast recording thing.
We always say it's going to be short. It's
gonna be short,
Like our shortest episode is still like 45 minutes.
Whatever, we got plans.
We got plans.
I'm not going to say what they are yet. You can find that out. Although you
Ooh,
probably,
yeah.
probably already know from the description, but
Maybe we'll leave it out of the description. We don't know yet.
sorry, I was eating cheese.
The host cannot eat.
I know,
the
that
cheese.
should probably be a rule. Host can't eat.
You must starve.
All right, one more drink of my tea.
So fancy.
Spicy. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about one of my least favorite things, dolls. I hate dolls.
I know, that's why I was like, Emily, this is your topic.
It is.
I forced it on you.
So when I was a little girl, probably like many little girls, my grandma thought that I loved dolls. So she bought me a doll for like literally every occasion.
Oh.
If it was Christmas, I got a doll. If it was my birthday, I got a doll. Just like dolls everywhere. So situated directly across from my bed growing up, on top of my dresser with no less than 10 dolls at all times. Just creepy little porcelain dolls just all in a line facing my bed. So they just watched me while I was sleeping. If I slept at all, they just were there with their little
It's so comforting.
faces, and I would just stare back at them, convinced that their like little heads would be turning and stuff, and like their arms would move. So that's like
That's
the
where
origin.
the origin of your fear.
That's the origin of my fear of dolls, is just all of the army of haunted dolls I had in my bedroom as a child.
Watching you sleep.
Yes. Like, I don't know. I think I was just weird as a kid, though, because I remember I had, like, a poster of Lion King, and I used to stare at that at night, too, and I was convinced that Pumbaa's tail would be wagging. So, in addition to the dolls, I had a haunted Lion King picture. And then I had Winnie the Pooh decals on my wall above my bed. And then I was trying to sleep once, as you do in your bed, and I was just about to fall asleep. And I felt something patting my head. And right above my head was the sticker of Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. And in my head, I was just like, God damn, Rabbit's patting me on the head.
Aww.
It was not an awe kind of thought. I was like, this bunny sticker is going to kill me.
Oh.
So that's
Your childhood.
my childhood, where everything in my room was alive. I think I watched Toy Story and took it in a very bad direction.
Yeah, thinking that the dolls come to life, or the toys come to life when you, like, aren't watching.
Yeah, they, like, come to life, but they're malicious.
Oh.
I think was what I
Yeah.
went with there. So, I mean, that's probably why, personally, I now have a theory that every doll is haunted. and that it's standard operation whenever they come from their little doll factory that they're inserted with a spirit or a demon, and it just lives there. It's kind of like Build-A-Bear when you pick out the heart. They're just like ghost, demon, and then go. So, if you didn't know that, that was part of my research. That's just true. So,
well,
to be fair, though, I'm not the only one who's afraid of dolls. It's pretty common.
it is pretty common.
Are you afraid of dolls?
No.
Yeah, you have a doll collection, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, I have a pretty massive Barbie doll collection. They're still in their boxes. And I have 2 American Girl dolls that are no longer being made, so I'm just waiting for those to be worth something.
Have you ever thought about how you're just a really strange person?
Are you just like in me? Or do you mean like...
No, you.
Like, do I ever think about, oh, I'm really weird?
Yeah.
I guess sometimes. I'm like, I think I know why I'm single.
Like, I go ghost hunting for fun. I have an antique teacup collection and a Barbie collection, and they're all in their boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear ghosts when I take naps.
I mean, aren't we all a little weird? And to be fair, the Barbie collection I've had since I was a kid, I probably haven't bought a new Barbie in 20 years or more. So they were mostly bought in the 90s.
As a kid, you chose not to take your Barbies out of their boxes?
No, I have a box of Barbies that I played with too, but then I had these were the ones I didn't play with. They just sat on shelves and watched me.
Moving on.
Do you ever think about how weird you are?
All the time.
Okay.
So
we're weird together. Different, but together.
eat your cheese.
Yeah, I'm allowed to eat.
You are allowed to eat cheese. So, have you ever heard the word for what the fear of dolls is? Do you know what that's called? It has a word.
I have no idea.
It's not great. It's pediophobia. Pediophobia. Which sounds not...
Yeah.
I don't know. But the fear of dolls is considered a subsection of an even greater fear, which is hard to read. Automatonophobia.
Ooh, that's fun to say.
Try.
Automatonophobia.
Automatonophobia. Which is the fear of humanoid objects.
Ah.
Which I definitely have, because I feel like I think I've talked about it on the podcast. I hate, like, mascots at theme parks or anything like that, and the full body suits.
Yeah.
All of the things. Just don't like it.
Yeah, that's what's never bothered me.
No.
Although I will say, like, I don't know what it is. Like, when you enter a room full of dolls, like, I don't know if it's just all the little eyeballs staring at you. That is really creepy. Like, it's unsettling.
Well, I happen to have a point on that, which I put out of order in my notes, but I remembered it because I'm a smart cookie. Scientifically...
Not just a hat rack.
No, I don't have hats. Scientifically, a lot of white dolls are often perceived as creepy, can be boiled down to them just sucking.
Oh.
Scientifically.
Oh, yeah, it's very scientifically, yes.
But, that could actually be attributed more to something called the uncanny valley, which I know we have talked about in this before, which I guess is a better way to put it than them sucking, which is the honest and easy answer. Is that my cat?
Cat is trying to break in, which is a little scary sounding.
Let's hope it's the cat.
I was like, something's entering.
Hello.
It's the dolls.
Well, they're already here.
They're staring at
If another doll walks in through the door, we got problems.
I'm leaving.
So, the uncanny valley is a fairly common phenomenon. It describes things that are close to normal, but just off enough to be unsettling. In the case of dolls, their unblinking eyes and expressionless faces can perturb some, like me. Our brains register dolls as something humanoid, but their lifelessness makes them seem other and potentially dangerous.
Aww.
For context, we both, after I read that, stared directly into the dolls. I looked very upset, and Kayla just did what she did. So.
They're not trying to hurt us.
They're going home with you.
Well,
I just am so uncomfortable with them being here.
I guess we should, for context.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I was...
Oh, you're going to wait?
I was, but now that we've brought them up so many times...
People might be like, what the hell are they talking about?
So, we knew we were going to do this episode for a while, and I don't remember. We were just hanging out one day, and I don't think this was this was not a fully fledged plan at all.
Oh, no.
But, I don't know, we were just like, let's go antique shopping. We're like, cool. And then somehow, along the way, that turned into, we should find some antique dolls to investigate for an episode, for the Haunted Dolls episode. And of course, we're both like, absolutely, that's a great
fantastic idea.
So we do that. We go, I don't know, I don't remember the name of the antique mall.
I think it's just called River Market Antiques.
So we went there. Lots of dolls.
Oh my gosh, and some were quite creepy.
Yes. We happened to find this jolly little pair of dolls, porcelain dolls, that were holding hands. Between the two of them, they have 2 pairs of shoes. No, actually, between the two of them, they have 1 pair of shoes. Each of them's missing a shoe. We named them, what did we name them?
Judith and Abigail.
I don't know why I can't remember.
Judith intentionally blanking
Judith is my child, right?
Yes.
So Judith is mine. Judith is a little bit more dapper and nicely put together. She also looks more like a bitch.
Yes.
God, she's just staring at me. And then Abigail's hair's falling off.
I feel like Abigail maybe
scalped.
used to have a hat. Because her hair is real crazy.
Maybe Judith ripped Abigail's hat off her head and thusly scalped her. And she have hands? Are they gone? She's got hands.
Yeah, they're dressed like in, I don't know, Victorian type dresses, so very frilly.
And they kind of look like somebody took like baby heads and put them on adults.
Yes.
If the baby was a bitch, asshole
Mine
baby.
just has like her eyes are a little wide, like
and
like,
the mine's are a little narrowed, like ugh. And her eyebrows are not the right color.
She should be a redhead. Maybe they switched their hair.
Maybe they did. They might have.
Poor Abigail.
So yeah, that's why we keep referring to dolls. There are actual dolls sitting here with us, and we will be speaking to them very soon.
Hold your thoughts, ladies.
Maybe, I was going to say maybe they're already talking to us. We don't know, but I'm just making prolonged eye contact with a doll, and I don't like it. So, as the intro to the new Barbie movie stated, dolls have been around for a while. The British Museum has several ancient Egyptian dolls in their collection, and they're just like little things made of papyrus stuffed linen. And obviously that's not the oldest example of dolls, but you know, it's just interesting to think about how long dolls have been in our culture.
When you were in school, did you ever make those dolls out of like corn husks?
No, where did you go to school? God.
In the 1800s. Out on the farm in our one room schoolhouse. Yeah, we always did that in the fall, like harvest time.
I played with my little corn husk doll.
Yeah. That's what my private education bought me.
Oh man. Private
Continue.
schools.
Continue. You missed out.
Did I? So, some say that dolls can be used to reflect a culture's value or expectations for women, especially. I think of dolls are usually toys for girls.
Like kind of caring, mimicking like caring for a baby type thing.
Right, exactly. Like you can think of the difference between the classic baby doll and then the hypersexualized Bratz dolls that were popular when we were kids. Like, consider how much dolls have changed, and they're kind of still in that phase right now, I think. Or they're just kind of freaky, like they poop and stuff, and like...
Yeah, way too realistic.
Way too realistic. But on that note, like, what cultural image was the Raggedy Ann doll trying to project? Like, this is what women should be. Women should be this thing.
Didn't Raggedy Ann have, like, book series, too? Or am I making that up?
She did, because remember at McIntyre, there was a Raggedy Ann book in the... Yeah.
Oh, and there was Raggedy Andy.
Raggedy Andy.
I don't know if that was her brother or boyfriend. I'm not sure.
Same thing.
Well, that made the story much more interesting.
As soon as I said it, I was like, wait a second. I need to stop myself.
I think that's true.
Nope. This Dr. Peppa's getting to me.
One of my parents' friends, she always used to be, was that my out loud voice? That's why
I need to start saying that. Yeah. Was that my out loud voice? It was. Honestly, it shouldn't have been an inside or an outside voice. Anyways. Frankly, there are just all kinds of dolls, and they're all creepy. They're not necessarily, they're not brands or anything like this, but anything like that, but types of dolls that existed as far as almost like purposes specific types of dolls have had over time. There's a doll type known as an effigy doll where, like, say you hate somebody and you want to punish that person, but you can't actually punish that person. You're going to make a doll that looks just like that person, and then you're going to set it on fire.
Stab it.
Yeah. Or like in Lilo and Stitch, when Lilo puts the little voodoo dolls in the pickle jar and shakes it.
Yeah.
And she's like, my friends need to be punished. I mean, that was a voodoo doll, but...
Same, different. I think someone's been
I was like, what is that?
outside.
I've had too many creepy things happen around here lately, so I'm on edge. But yeah, like an effigy doll, like... You could see in the movies and stuff when there's like a mob and they don't like their governor or something, so they make a little straw man of it and they burn him.
Yeah,
Effigy doll. There are bereavement dolls or Victorian mourning dolls, which were frequently used during, like, at the death of a child at their funeral. Families would have a life-size doll that was the size of their deceased child. They would dress it in the child's clothes. That would kind of just be a thing, and I think it obviously helped parents with mourning too, which we kind of still do with certain things.
Yeah.
Don't really want to go into that topic because it's too sad, but...
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's also a doll known as a whisper doll, which is a doll you could whisper a secret or a prayer to, knowing they'd keep it safe for you.
Or would they?
Right? Because I'm looking at these two, and I'm like, they would not keep a secret. Absolutely
I think
not.
Abigail might, because she'd probably just forget. Judith, she's telling your secrets.
Yeah. So those are some of the basic purposes, functions dolls have served that don't necessarily cross into the paranormal, but it kind of hits on the topic of dolls are definitely a sort of thing that culturally they have kind of meaning and power based on what we give them. Sort of like if you have a doll that you really cared about when you're growing up, and that doll's important to you, you put that importance onto it. It didn't come with that, but it becomes important because it's important to you. Which goes back to what we've talked about in several episodes.
Giving power to things?
Giving power to things, which comes up every single time we talk about anything paranormal. So, great. We're making these dolls haunted.
Oh. Kind of sad.
So, moving on.
Moving on.
This is the downside of having printed notes. So, here's a little more history on the note of giving things power. Going back to the ancient Egyptians, they used dolls to help aid them in identifying demons, sort of as like a tool of instruction, more than just like, I don't know, like, it's like flashcards, but with little demon dolls. Like, here, child, this is what this one looks like. This is what it does. Bad. But that, I guess, evolved at some point from, and I think you've talked about something similar with ancient Roman history, but they had dolls that were almost more like totems at a certain point where it had power associated with this demon, or like you have this doll here if you want wealth, or this one for, I don't know, beating up this guy because you hate him, things like that, or little fertility statues. They gave those things power that they didn't have initially just because they used them culturally, and gradually they took on a new meaning. And then they're like having whole Yu-Gi-Oh battles with their little figurines. So there's that. That's kind of, I don't remember enough about what you talked about with the Roman ones, but I do remember.
Theirs were like their ancestors.
So
yeah,
it's
kind of a similar, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just...
And they'd use it for like protection and, I don't know, wishes and...
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same. It's interesting that we just do that with dolls. I don't know. Dolls clearly have some weird thing in our head where we just give them meaning, and I don't like it. So, it used to be common practice for dolls to be made with actual human hair.
Cool. Guess they didn't know how to synthetically make hair.
Yeah, because most dolls do have synthetic hair now, which
is
good. Great. I don't know exactly the timeline for when that ended, but I'm fairly confident that we probably could have gotten a human hair doll at that antique store.
I bet it wasn't all that long ago.
No, I don't think so. Because it was easy to find, and dolls need hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine, like, haunted dolls were probably, like, even more common back then. I don't even... If I had one, I would just give up on my life. Another type of doll that obviously pretty much everyone's heard of is the voodoo doll.
Yeah.
That's the most commonly known doll in sort of the hoodoo religion. I didn't look it up a whole ton, so I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot, but I looked it up enough to know that there's almost like an opposite to that known as the juju doll, which is good luck. And there's just a whole lot of interesting magics that involve dolls that I'd like to go in at some point, but it's just such a big topic that there was no way I was going to be able to cover it appropriately right now.
Yeah.
But it's a big topic.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's a whole religion. So there's a lot there. And I don't know, I was on a shop that just had all kinds of dolls, and I'm like, are these all common?
Yeah.
Like, do people have a lot of these? I don't like it.
We're going to go find a museum somewhere.
So while researching, I did find another very strange doll, which is...
Pray tell.
It's a little bit more of this particular one, it's called the Lily doll. It's more modern, but this particular doll is modern, but it comes from ancient practices.
Okay.
So this belief in dolls can be traced back to the 1600s, and it came from practices founded in paganism that can be traced back to, like, the Vikings and Romans and all of that. It's just kind of what we've been talking about already with dolls. It was just very common for handmade figurines to be used to ward off spirits. I don't know. I think that it's just very common to think that things house themselves in dolls, and then you use them. They could be good. They could be bad.
So good.
Yeah. So I skipped a page.
Oh, don't do that.
So, in the case of Lily, this modern ward was gifted to a paranormal investigation team by its owner. And they said that Lily, the owner, when they gave it to him, said that, I found her outside my door one morning with a note that said not to put her by mirrors or in the same room I sleep in. I gave her a flashlight so she could drain the batteries, but instead she made my lights flicker all night. My cat would not go near her, and my dog would just stare. At times, I would be woken up from a dead sleep, smelling burnt toast, or sometimes a sweet, fruity smell. Her favorite color is red. That is all I know. Today, you can buy your own Lily doll for just $30.
That's so affordable.
Right? Who needs that, though, when you can just go to the antique store?
And get them.
If you look her up, though, she's scary as hell.
Well, who would have brought that into their house? Like, I'd have been like, I just could leave it out here.
Yeah, if a doll just appeared, to be like, no, thank you.
I'm all full.
Yeah, all full. Don't need any dolls. Thanks very much.
No vacancy.
No vacancy. Bye-bye. Yeah, no thanks. So, it's no secret that dolls are often the subject of haunting stories. They're often the subject of possession, whether by human, spirit, or demon. Many within the paranormal world believe that dolls are the most likely objects for a haunting. Which sounds about right, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Is it because they're humanoid like, they got arms, they got legs, they can move?
I think that's part of it. People, and in addition to that, people often form strong attachments to their dolls, and so it's believed that a human soul is likely to bind to a doll once its owner has passed on.
That makes sense.
But that only applies to human spirits. Other spirits, say the sort that can be summoned via a ritual, are bound to a doll as a way to keep the spirit under thumb.
I think they're just dumb, and they're like, they think it's a human, and they're like, shit.
Maybe, and like maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's sort of the sort of thing where there's some sort of arbitrary or rule of some sort where if it's a humanoid enough figure,
It works.
yeah, or maybe if it is only like spirit summoned in rituals, if the ritual states that they're going to be bound in a doll,
Then that's what happens. Yeah.
yeah, which I think might happen a lot.
Good.
So I'm not going to go into all of the big haunted doll stories in this episode because there are just so many and they would all need their own episode. Interestingly enough, many of the spirits attached to these dolls are believed to be so powerful that they're able to curse people who offend them or even have the misfortune of looking at them, even just a picture of them.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe that it's not usually a human spirit in a doll.
Right, to have that kind of power.
Yeah, either that or people are just so scared of dolls that they give them power just by existing, and if there just is a spirit there in addition to it, it can do whatever it wants. So, I'm sure many of you have already heard of these dolls because they're just...
Famous.
They're famous, but there's Robert, the doll from Florida.
Well, he retired to a nice place.
Yeah, have you heard anything about him?
I probably know the least amount about Robert.
He's... basically, he was some kid's doll. The kid talked to him all the time like he was a person. Bad things started happening. The kid was blaming Robert. Robert, I don't know, it was almost like Robert... I'm going to get this whole story butchered, but basically, like, Robert was this evil, life-sucking thing, and it was causing misfortune, and they had to get rid of it, and something like that. I didn't research it, obviously, so if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but Robert sucks, and if you look at his picture, you could get bad luck.
Ooh, so
I looked at his picture today.
Be careful when you're Googling.
Yeah, but he's one of the ones you don't really want to, like, you need to be careful around, which was like that doll at McIntyre, too, like, the one in the basement. You need to be careful what you say, or you might offend them, and then they make things happen.
Didn't that couple we met at Waverly, we talked to, wasn't that, we're talking about how they got into ghost hunting? Didn't they were on a trip with friends in Florida, and it was, like, raining, so they were, like, just killing time, and they went to this museum where Robert is, and didn't, like, a picture fall off the wall next to Robert or something while they were...
Something like that. I was dying when they were telling the story, so I don't know if
you were in so much pain.
I think I was asleep.
It all, I think something fell off the wall while they were, like, looking at Robert.
Yeah, I believe it. Like, every time I've listened to a podcast episode about him, usually the host will preface it with, like, a lot of people say that listening to stories talking about him and everything are really bad luck and blah, 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 blah. And so if you don't want to listen, you can skip. It's okay. So there's that. Then there's Annabelle from Ed and Lorraine's infamous haunting.
Yeah, probably maybe the most famous haunted doll.
And Annabelle was a Raggedy Ann, and she was gifted to the woman who experienced the main haunting by her mother. Pretty sure her mom just picked her up.
But it was also weird because she was like a grown,
she was like in
woman.
nursing school, and she's like, here you go.
Yeah, to your like 20-year-old daughter, she needs a doll.
Well, like that, and yeah, essentially, like it started very much like a demonic infestation. The activity was very normal, and they kind of thought it was the spirit of a little girl who just wanted to feel safe.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was attached to the doll. They told that it could inhabit the doll. It did, and then things got a lot worse. Mm-hmm. So it is like, even if it is just a doll, it seems to be that having that vessel makes them more powerful.
Yeah.
There are other dolls that I don't really know about that I'd like to research sometime. There's a doll named Letta from Australia. Ooh. And Okiku from Japan. So, stuff for us to look into. I do know that, like, the Okiku doll, from what little I read, like, parts of her would grow like she was alive and stuff like that. It was just all phenomena that was, like, a little bit too much for just a regular ghost who just does
cool
little things, so.
I've seen Peggy the doll.
I forgot about Peggy.
At Zach's museum.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah.
What was Peggy about?
I can't remember Peggy's story. I think it was one of those things you're not supposed to look at her. And I don't think I directly looked at her, because they, like, tell you that when you're at Zach's Haunted Museum. But I kind of feel bad for the doll, unless it's a demon, because they just have a spirit box constantly running in the room.
Oh, God.
At least, or constantly running at least while the museum's open. I don't know, maybe it's literally on 24/7. I don't know if he still does that, but when I visited in 2018, yeah. So that was, you were just in that room, and, spirit boxes are real
it's just like screaming.
Real annoying. So it was a weird experience.
Yeah, if it wasn't evil before, it's
evil. But I can't remember Peggy's story.
Yeah, I'm getting it mixed up with other things in his museum, I think. But
yeah, but anyways.
I don't remember Peggy either. She probably haunted people, and
that's why she's there.
It was creepy. And Zach's like, demon!
Buy it!
Yeah.
It's mine now.
It's my doll. At night when the museum's closed, he's just playing with her. Hello, Peggy.
Probably is.
Little tea parties.
Yes.
Like we do.
Haunted tea set.
Yeah, oh my god. I wish. Alright, so that's kind of the very quick note portion of this episode. I didn't want to take too much time because I wanted to save more for what we were all really interested in, which is talking to Judith and Abigail. Honestly, I want these dolls to be haunted for content, but I also just really, really don't.
Because then they have to go back to my house.
Yeah, they're going to your house.
They're in your house right now, but they'll go back to mine.
What if they possess Baby Yoda over there?
Oh. No, not Baby Yoda. This is also perfect. I really like that when this episode comes out, it'll be like, it's October.
So is this going to be kind of like...
So this is kind of like a live investigation in a way. I mean, it's not live to you guys, because obviously by the time this episode comes out, we will have recorded it, a week or so before, but it's kind of live.
It is kind of live. Yeah, so welcome to the investigation.
Yes, you're joining us on an investigation.
Yeah. And I'm going to preface this with the last bit of research I did, my last bit of knowledge. Totally shocking stuff, but here are 5 signs to let you know that your doll might be haunted.
Cool.
1, it moves frequently on its own.
What?
Yeah. If your doll does that, that's not normal doll behavior.
Oh, I thought they all just walked on their own.
Yeah, no, they don't. So, there's that. Number 2, it makes creepy noises.
Yeah.
Like if your doll's not supposed to be crying or whimpering or screaming or laughing, you might have a haunted doll. Some of them do that, though.
Oh, yeah, like you hear the stories of people like, I never had a Furby as a kid, but because you had to feed them and stuff, like they'd go off at like 3 a.m. Feed me.
Mine did. Mine went off in my...
I never had one.
Yeah, mine went off in my closet at one point. Like I buried it and it was just, I heard... I was like, fuck that. All Furbies were haunted.
Yeah.
So, another sign, third sign, the temperature changes around them. So if it's colder or whatever, temperature shifts, just normal ghost shit,
Yep.
They make you feel strong emotions, which dolls frequently do with me, but it's fear.
Yeah, so
hatred.
Maybe if you start like bawling, that's not good.
Which is interesting because that's something I do feel in paranormal investigations a lot. Like, I get really heavy feelings investigating.
You do.
Like, I get sad a lot.
You do, yeah.
Which is interesting.
I think you might be more sensitive to the emotions of a place.
Like, empathic?
Yeah. An
Which
empath.
Sucks.
Yeah.
If I am picking up Judith's energy, and it's not good.
Uh-oh.
She's a little snooty baby. And they can mess with electronics, which maybe was why we're having issues.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we could not get this episode started because it just...
But to be fair, we always have issues with that, so...
Yeah, well, it's maybe not haunted, but it might be.
All right, we've got the girls here, the back.
Yes, who's back? Oh, let's try this.
I don't have high expectations.
This one. It's fine. It's not bad.
It's better than I expected.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Aftertaste, though.
Everyone loves that's everyone's favorite noise. We're going to edit that out.
Stays that time.
We got a lot of noises on this episode.
Lingers. Lots of mixtures there. All right. So, I think what we're going to do is just, I can't just not look at her eyes. I think we're going to just try some spirit boxing here. We're going to start with just some regular old spirit boxing and see how much that blows up the sound.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll switch to some Estes method.
I feel like you might be more familiar with how this works. Because I feel like you've been running it.
I'm the spirit boxer. Pow, pow, pow.
Alright, sweep rate. That's what I gotta change.
I just click it till it's really fast.
What's happening? How do you sweep it?
Let me see.
Is it sweeping? That's what I say, it's not doing the You have to hold something?
Is the battery really low?
It's like half.
There it goes. Window. All right. So I know we named you to Abigail and Judith, but for starters, can you just tell us if those are your actual names?
Not much.
Do you have a name? Stephanie?
Three? How old are you?
Animal?
Yeah, I don't know what that was. Darkness? That's what I heard.
Is there a darkness inside of you?
Oh.
A knife? You are? What'd she say?
You are? Something like that.
Am I darkness? Kayla's darkness.
Yeah.
Or do we have a darkness with
we
us?
haven't maybe introduced ourselves.
Oh, don't they know us? Are you here? So there's a gnat in here. Are we talking to someone right now? Is that a yeah?
That sounds like a kid. What's your name? How did you get here?
Playground?
Doesn't it still sound like a kid's voice? There it is. What was that? It sounded like wagon, but in a very
I
scary...
heard Ryan. You like me?
Well, we like you too. Can you tell us your name? Is your name Ryan? Could be. Do you not remember your name? Are you okay? No. Oh my god. Are you trapped? Is there more than one of you?
That's 7.
What?
Do you think you can slow it down a little bit? We can't quite hear what you're saying. Did you say you needed help?
Yes.
What happened to you?
Can just one of you talk at a time?
We want to be sure we're talking to somebody. Can you try to say one of our names back to us, please?
My name is Kayla. Can you say Kayla back to me?
And I'm Emily. Can you say that? Okay, you're a little... We can't quite make anything out. Can you try a little bit harder to focus?
What color sweater is Emily wearing? Did that sound like yellow? Yep. Oh. What color is my hat? Can you tell me what color my hat is?
Are you something that's been with us for a while? I'll help you?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Do we need help? Three. Is Tim here with us?
Is there a spirit or an entity attached to these dolls? Is there someone or something attached to Kayla?
Something's trying to say something.
Yeah, can you, we can almost hear you, but not quite. Can you try a little bit more? Is there anything attached to me, Emily? I don't want multiple. Okay. So, focusing back on these two dolls. Is there anything inside of them, or are they just dolls? If you're something that's with these dolls, can you try to speak to us? I keep hearing yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to count. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye. You're not welcome to stay here. Thank you for talking to us.
Goodbye. You know, what was really interesting about that, when we, a few months ago, did a Spirit Box session at your house, or here.
There was nothing.
Well, but we could hear more, like we got more actual words.
I guess so, but we were being silly.
We were being silly, and we were doing the Estes method, so possibly you can hear a little better when you've got headphones on.
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it... I don't know. I don't know if it's a matter of, like, differentiating between, like, what you can clearly tell is just, like, normal radio things.
Right.
And you're like, I know that's just the radio, but then you hear something that's like, that was weird.
Yeah, like, all the screams, it's like, what...
There were a lot
radio
of
station is playing that?
There were a lot of, and that's what happened, which we haven't done this yet, but our investigation of the Hall of Waters, that's what happened. We heard a lot of repeating voices over the spirit box, and like that, and they don't sound like they should be there.
Right.
And there were a few moments of that just now.
There was also just some interesting with call and response.
Yes.
That we got.
The yellow was
weird, and then it seems like every time we called out to the kid, the voice seemed to show up.
Did.
And there seemed to be a lot of crying type noises that sounded like a kid, which I wouldn't think you'd get that from radio stations.
I hope not. But then that makes me nervous too, because
then that opens up a whole other can of worms.
Like, either it's something very sad, or it's not a kid.
Well, that's true too. It's trying to trick us.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should have explained before we started. So, for those of you that don't know, a spirit box is a device that scans radio stations very fast. And so the theory is that the ghost can kind of talk to you through that white noise. And so you really shouldn't get phrases because it's scanning radio stations so quickly. So then if you do get phrases and such, there's a theory that it's paranormal. Did I explain that kind of right?
Yeah.
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 So, anyways, that's what we just did, was use the spirit box.
But I feel like we've been having more success lately, for better or worse. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a sign that we're getting better or a sign that stuff's just sticking around. Because the last conversation we had on a spirit box was also with a child.
Yep.
So, but it sounded different.
Yeah,
so,
it was a totally different experience.
I don't love it. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's honestly the main part of the investigation for these guys right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the dolls are haunted or just us.
Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of sense that it was the dolls right now, to be completely honest.
I don't think so either. And we've already talked about how we think one or both of us are haunted. Mm-hmm. So,
or a matter of whether it's haunted or just...
But I'm really concerned, like, why does it have to be a kid? Because it's scary. It's sad and or scary, because if it is a kid, that makes me sad. If it's a demon or an entity pretending to be a kid, then that's scary. So neither is good.
But I think something with that is there's a lot of importance in not trusting it.
And trusting the spirit box?
The spirit box, and also potentially if there's an entity.
Oh, sure.
Just be like,
well, and
sorry.
Not giving it
the
fear or the power and being like, no.
Yeah, we're not going to have any of that.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was probably humoring it way more than we should have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we might regret that, but...
It might be interesting, too, to listen, when you listen back, if it's different experience.
True. Yeah, when I edit this alone while you leave me.
I do feel bad. I'm kind of making Emily have to do a brunt. We usually share the editing, and I'm going to make her have to edit.
She's leaving the country. She's leaving me. We investigated dolls in my house, and now she's leaving.
And I'm like, peace. I'm fleeing the country.
And you're going somewhere perfect for being possessed in, so if there's something wrong with you, you can get it fixed right away.
That's right.
Not me. You should take the dolls and cast them into the ocean.
Oh,
I mean,
that's littering.
it's true. I know.
That's okay. They'll just go back to my guest room.
Maybe
I like it in
never
there.
to stay over at your house. You should totally leave a recorder in that room sometime.
That room is a little loud though because it faces the in front of my house, the street, and so
Rogue is like,
is
"What's
locked
up?"
down. She's like, "Are you done with your investigation?"
Rogue, you kind of sound like a child when you want to.
Maybe that's what we were hearing.
Rogue.
It was just Rogue. It was no ghost.
Rogue, did we do something dumb?
I mean, Kira didn't, or did you see her do something?
She wasn't doing anything, but she was staring very intently the whole time. Like, every time I looked over, she just...
But maybe that noise is just very irritating to their hearing.
That's true.
Because it's irritating to human ears, and I know animals can hear much
made
better.
my cat go deaf.
She's like, yes, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So, this was kind of a different episode. Something, I don't know, for
Yeah.
spooky season.
It's always interesting. Like, I feel like whenever we actually talk to something in the spirit box, I'm very tired afterwards. Like, it's almost just like
I don't know if, I can hardly keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
Like, which, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's getting close to my bedtime.
And you had, like, a couple sips of wine, and you're like, see.
Or just like, yeah, but
Yeah.
I do feel extremely drained. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what
I
that
don't know,
means.
but that's what I felt last
You
time we
probably
did
watched me, we videoed this.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Crap. I wasn't paying attention to how I was sitting.
I know, at one point I realized I was, like, super hunched over, and I'm like...
I realized I was just, like,
like-
staring at you, just like, you talking to the demons too, Kayla?
And I'm
hello,
like,
Ro.
that's going to be super... Oh,
Don't rip a pretty
I
dress.
say, this dress is very thin. I don't want your little claws. I love you. But, anyways, yeah, I'm sure part of that video I'm super good posture, but...
Rogue, stop. You keep scaring me. Well, God, I forgot we were still recording.
Yeah, we're not just talking amongst us.
So, that's the episode. Sorry if we got you haunted vicariously through spirit boxing with us, or if we unlocked a new horrible cursed doll lore. I hope not.
Yeah.
It'd help if I remembered the dolls' names, Judith and Abigail.
You got it.
I got it.
You got it.
My brain's just like, don't remember. If you remember, it gives them power. But, you know, that's not their actual names. It's just the names we gave them. So, yeah. From all of us here.
And I guess we will not talk to you, at least not on the podcast, before Halloween. We might talk to you
That's true.
on the Instagram, but we hope you have a spooky, happy Halloween.
Yes, have the happiest of spooky, spooky times.
And follow us at Ribbonins Paranormal, and that's where we're gonna, post some stuff.
Yeah.
And you can comment there what you thought of this episode, or you're like, "This was dumb."
Totally get it if it was, but
Maybe we won't do it again.
it
but
was kind of fun.
I think I'm not positive that our next episode will be an investigation, but I think it will be.
Yeah,
and
I think it will be.
Really.
The best one we've had
It's
yet.
the best investigation we have. I think it's going to be a two-parter because, one, there's incredible history to tell of this place, and two, some shit went down. It was insane.
Like, my mind is still blown from that place.
So I hope we're going to try to make that our next episode because we're just super excited to talk about it and let you guys in on what we did, where we went. But yeah, we will... Is there anything else you want to add, Emily?
I think that's it.
Oh, we got our Patreon up and running?
We did.
So...
Yeah, we've got a few things up there now, including a link to a Discord chat and posting lots of behind-the-scenes things.
Yeah, because you can chat with us in the Discord. It would be super fun.
Because obviously you don't get enough of listening to us now. You should listen to us more.
You can live talk with us.
Live talk. We're so much better live.
Yes. Yes. When I can't edit my likes and ums. And my... Yes, those noises. So yeah, please, that money will help us go on more investigations, buy better equipment, all the things, buy us coffee so that I'm not falling asleep as I'm recording this like I am right now.
And that's definitely, those investigations are where we get some of the best content, which is why we were desperate to make one bring an investigation to us.
Yes, and we've realized too, I mean, sometimes it's just not financially feasible, especially to do often, but doing more private investigations is really what we would like to do, but those obviously are way more expensive. But they give us the ability to not have interference from others. So, anyways, that's what, and then by giving us money on Patreon, you also get exclusive content and such.
Yeah,
so,
exclusive special content
win.
from us. All right. I think that's enough goodbying, though.
I know. We can't ever do a short
horrible
one.
at saying goodbye. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Goodbye.
Fare thee well.
Fare thee well. Anything else to say, ladies? That's what I thought. Okay. So, we're going to debrief a little on, because we listened back not even to all of the,
Spirit box, but most of it.
most of it. Enough of it to,
Freak ourselves out.
yeah, the highlight, I would say, was when we asked it to say our names back and it said Beelzebub.
Yeah, did you catch that?
Because we did.
And, yeah, that's a pretty big demon name and very random to come through.
But also, like,
Is it random?
is it random? And it said that it's our name. So,
That doesn't make sense.
doesn't make sense. Damn it. So there was that. Lots of voices that seemed like maybe they weren't actually in the box.
Yeah, because we heard some, like, additional, I don't know, cries and voices that I don't recall hearing in the moment. But it's possible we just missed them. But
Yeah, I would hope.
we also, when you asked if there was something attached to me, we didn't, what did it say? A boy?
A boy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It said a boy, which was what I feel like we were getting a lot. Mm-hmm. And when we asked how it got here, it said playground very clearly.
Yes. And then there was like, oh, that's right. This was more towards the beginning. It said playground, and then there was like a
Scream?
scream, a cry, something that I
Lasted
don't,
a long time.
yeah,
It stopped and started again.
yeah, that I don't recall in the moment hearing.
I remember hearing the first part, but not the second.
Yeah. So anyways, we just thought we would hop back on and kind of, since it's fresh in our minds, debrief
Yeah.
a little bit.
And I might have more to tag onto this after, like, I've edited everything and listened through.
But it was super interesting to listen back with fresh ears, but like, yeah, I don't know, just, that's a little freaky.
Yeah, it went... Honestly, that was a little bit more productive than I had expected, and I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Well, I don't want Beelzebub. What is his name?
Frazzle boo boo.
Beelzebub. Inside joke.
Inside joke, but you know, if you ever have a demon, just start saying its name wrong.
Yeah.
And from now
Yeah.
on, his name's Billy Bob.
Billy Bob. Billy Bob, you stay in hell.
I've never laughed like that before.
It's the demon.
It did say that was our name, so...
That's very interesting. I was
Billy Bob was tickled.
I mean, you're always joking about how I'm possessed since birth, so
Yeah, you might be. Or maybe
am I
it's-
the Antichrist?
that little hat tells it all. I always knew the Antichrist would wear a flower hat.
Yep.
Well then, I think we've divvied up the shit of this parting very well, in that you take the dolls and I'm left with the space that we've polluted with our investigation.
Well, we'll just split up the energy.
Yeah. Is it bad that I feel like we should break them?
The dolls?
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure the dolls.
I don't know
Did
either,
anything.
but like, what if they were fine and now they're not?
Well, they're going to my house, so, and then I'm going to Europe, so
You're gonna come
I'm gonna
home.
come home and it's, oh my god, what if I come home and like all my cabinets are open?
The dolls are
and-
sleeping in your bed.
Oh my, you're gonna now like come into my house and do that, or tell my mom to.
No.
Yeah. Totally are.
don't know. What are you talking about?
He's silly.
Okay, well, I love that we took forever to end the last recording, and then we started recording
And
again.
then we came back.
And now we can't end this one either. So we're haunted now, and now Kayla's leaving me, and
let us know if you heard anything additional, or if you heard what we heard, or just, your thoughts about how dumb we are.
I have a few.
So, sleep well.
I know I won't.
Bye.
Bye.